Okay, Moxettes, it is still Endo Awareness Month, and I want to share a story that someone sent in. This is someone who's been dealing with endometriosis for a number of years, and I think it just gives a really good glimpse into what the day-to-day life is when you're battling a chronic illness like endo. It starts, not only do you have to deal with doctors talking nonsense, on top of that, you have to deal with the pain and pretend the pain isn't there. I don't know why I do it, but I don't make up the rules. Every second of every day is an acting role. Smiling and pretending pain isn't excruciating when I'm out in public. I hate being in public with pain, as I have no choice but to broadcast a fake smile and pretend the pain isn't eating me alive. I also hate being in public because I just want to cry and I can't, but sometimes I do and I hate it. I can't go anywhere in public by myself. It's too risky. I get dizzy and I always need a hot water bottle and a bathroom everywhere I go. This is the thing, you can't be too far from a toilet when you have something like endo, and that kind of anxiety over time is going to grow and take such a toll on people suffering with this disease. Also, whenever I go anywhere, everyone stares at me, which is fine because I'm used to it by now, but crying in public is just embarrassing because no one knows why you're crying. All they can see is me clutching my stomach and my back hunched over in agony. This kind of story is a reality for so many people who suffer with endo. It's one of these invisible illnesses that you can't see from the outside, but people can be going through it day to day with serious pain and serious consequences, and the mental anguish of that over time cannot be overstated. So yes, it's Endo Awareness Month, but also every day, every week, I think the more that we talk about things like endo and the impacts that they have on people's lives, so that we can continue research and continue getting people diagnosed and growing treatment options, the more that we can talk about these things and push for better treatment options, the better things are going to get for the 1 in 9 people with uteruses who suffer with endo. If you get your period, or you're going to get your period one day, you want to watch this. This is 6 different period blood colors and what they each mean. Let's start with the most obvious, red. This is really common when you have like steady flow, so kind of the middle days of your cycle. It's fresh blood. This is a really normal, healthy color for your period blood. Next, I want to talk about pinks, like a really light red color. This could mean that you are anemic or potentially underweight. It can be associated with a slightly unhealthy diet, but it can also just be period blood mixed with cervical fluid. If you find that your entire period is only ever a pinkish color, it could be a good idea to speak to a doctor and figure out what is causing it. Next, let's talk about orange. Orange is a funny one. It can often indicate infection. Again, it's period blood mixed with cervical fluid, but it's a little bit more alarming, so definitely get to a doctor if you notice an orangey tinge. Gray is a symptom of bacterial vaginosis. We often see like grayish discharge, but if your period starts to look a little bit gray, definitely get to a doctor. There are treatments available. You don't need to suffer with bacterial vaginosis. It can be really easily cleared up. 2 more. I want to talk quickly about black. This could be at the very beginning or the end of your period, and it's just really, really dark blood that's oxidized, but it can also indicate a vaginal blockage. So again, if you're noticing this for days and days on end or every time, definitely get to a doctor. Finally, I want to talk about dark red or brown. This is one that kind of freaks people out, but it is actually a pretty normal color, even for your first period. It's most common at the beginning or the end of your period, and it is just blood, but because it's been hanging out longer in your uterus, it has oxidized and turned a brownish color. Do not freak out if you see this. I promise it's normal. As always, I am here to help. These are 8 common symptoms of vaginal infections that you can look out for. Number 1, vaginal itching or burning. This could be when you pee or when you wipe, or just generally if things are uncomfortable and burny down there, that is a big red flag. Likewise, soreness and discomfort. If you're kind of like rocking around in your seat, things don't feel right, maybe you feel a bit swollen or a bit puffy, this is also something to be aware of. Inflamed, flushed, swollen skin or your labia. So if it looks kind of red or the skin looks stretched out, or again, that kind of puffy feeling, this is something that you might want to go to a doctor about. A change in the amount of vaginal discharge. You should be familiar with what your kind of standard day looks like discharge wise. If you suddenly notice it becomes a lot heavier, that would be worth noting. Likewise, a change in color of your discharge. If it's normally white and creamy or maybe clear and egg whitey, but suddenly it's more yellow or green or maybe gray, take note of that. Pain or burning during urination or also during sex. These are two really important things to look out for. And the final one would be vaginal bleeding or spotting outside of your period. So if you just had your period a week or two ago and you're noticing bits of blood either when you wipe or when you pee or just in your underwear, I would definitely be going to a doctor, especially if you're noticing any of the other symptoms I've just mentioned. I get asked all the time to talk about my personal period routine, so here it is. First thing in the morning, I'm removing my overnight pad. My periods tend to be pretty heavy overnight, so I'm always glad to have one in, and it tends to be quite full. I'll then have a nice warm shower and then start my day with a fresh tampon. If my flow's heavy, it's going to be a super tampon. Usually on a heavy day, I'll go through one of these in like 3 to 4 hours. So if I'm going out for the day, I will definitely pack a few in my bag so I can change as needed. I'll also make sure I'm staying super well hydrated. I know I can get headachy and kind of crampy on my periods, so this is important. And then maybe take some light pain relief like ibuprofen throughout the day as needed. When I come home, I'll usually change into something really comfy. On my period days, I'm not hitting the gym hard after work. I might do some light yoga or Pilates at home, but most likely I'm on the couch with a hot water bottle and again, maybe some ibuprofen if needed. And dinners are gonna be like big and comforting and probably pretty carb heavy. I know what my body needs on my period and I am not here to deny it. I might even treat myself to a warm bath if it's like a cold night and I feel like I need it. And then when it comes time for bed, I'm changing back into an overnight pad. I love these for overnight because you really don't need to worry so much about leaking because they are so long and so absorbent with 2 sets of wings. I will still try and make a point of sleeping on my back rather than my side, because I know when you sleep on your side, you just have a little bit more chance of having a gap between your body and the pad, and that is how you get a little bit of overnight leakage. This is just my routine. It's not the only way to do it, but I will do this kind of rinse and repeat for the 4 or 5 days of my period, and I've been doing it for years and I get through it pretty well and painlessly. Feel free to let me know in the comments, what do you do differently? If you have period routine tips, I would love to hear them. These are by far the 3 most common sex-related FAQs that I get asked. Number 1, what is foreplay? So foreplay is kind of like the warm-up to penetrative intercourse sex. So it's everything that kind of happens before, beginning with like touching and cuddling or kissing, any kind of outer course, so that would be like digital stimulation, and it's to help your body and your mind get in the mood before you go all the way. Number 2, what is lube? I talk a lot about lube because you can also use it to insert a period cup, but the primary use for lube is actually in sexual situations. So it can be either water-based or silicone-based or sometimes oil-based. And the reason it's called lubricant is because it is there to lubricate. So it makes things slippery and slimy and just reduces all of that friction, makes things ultimately less painful, less uncomfortable, and more pleasurable. Number 3, do I recommend shaving down there before sex? This is a big one and a lot of people are asking it, but the answer is it's up to you. There is no right or wrong. There is no need to shave. It doesn't make things cleaner or necessarily more pleasurable. It's completely up to you and your personal preference. As long as you are showering and keeping your body clean, there's nothing wrong with having pubic hair. Having said that, if you prefer to have it all off, you can shave or wax or maybe even get laser. There are so many options out there for hair removal. This is everything you need to know about inserting a period cup. I'm going to be demoing with a lifelike vulva model and the Moxie Super Cup. These are perfect for people with really heavy flow or anyone who has given birth before. We do also make the cup in a regular size. This is perfect for anyone with light to medium flow. To start off, you want to get a really nice fold on your cup. I like to do a punch down fold. So you take that rim of the cup and push it all the way down to the center. This creates a little pointed tapered tip. This is going to be perfect for inserting. Now, when you reach down between your legs, you want to find your vaginal opening and start gently moving that tapered tip in. The blood inside your vagina from your period is going to act as a bit of a lubricant and hopefully make this go in a little easier. Once it's inside you, you want to feel that cup pop open so it's no longer folded up into that little tapered point, but it's actually open the whole way around, so it's making contact with all the walls of your vagina. You can run your finger around it to make sure this has happened. You can also find the ridges towards the base of the cup and just give a gentle pull on that end and make sure it is properly suctioned into place and it's not going to slip out on you. From there, you can wear your cup for up to 12 hours at a time. Usually I would take it out and empty every 6 to 8 hours, but you'll get to know your body and your flow best. When it is time to remove your cup, reach in with your thumb and your pointer finger, find the base of that cup and give it a squeeze. This is going to help to break that suction we created. From there, you can just gently pull your cup out. It will be full of blood, so do this over the toilet or in the shower. Then you can quickly rinse it with cold water and then wash it with hot water and soap, and you can go ahead and reinsert. Just be sure to sterilize it between cycles, and of course, always read the label and all of the instructions that come in the box. Your vaginal discharge smells a little bit like mayo. It's probably an acidic kind of smell that you're picking up on. This is pretty normal. I wouldn't worry about it at all. It's just the natural tang of your vagina. Anything fishy like a Caesar dressing should be seen by a doctor. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've definitely bled through an overnight pad myself before. It usually happens when I'm sleeping on my side. The way to combat this, I find, is wearing a pad with really good wings and then really tight undies that keep the pad close to your skin so the blood can't run. Should you shower with a tampon or a period cup inside your vagina? This is actually completely up to you. Personally, I take them out and then put a fresh one in after the shower, but there's no reason that you actually need to do that. So if you want to shower with it in, go for it. When you get your period, there's a good chance you won't even really feel the blood coming out. It just kind of happens on its own. You might feel a little bit of wetness when the blood hits the top of your pad before it fully soaks in and gets absorbed. But most of the time you won't actually feel it passing out of your body. First periods really vary from person to person, so you might have full gushing blood flow from that very first period, or your first few cycles might just be like a really light trickle, almost like spotting. I can't say how it's going to be for you, but I promise it will be okay either way. Hey Moxettes, I have another period horror story for you. This is another school-based one. I'm getting a lot of school-based ones. Schools seem to be a dangerous place to have your period. But of course, for a lot of us, it is inevitable, so let's laugh about it together. We're going to get through this. I was having the worst day of my life in school and I was so heavy, but my teacher would not let me go until break. I fucking had enough of this. The teacher's policing the bathroom breaks. It's just not cool. She eventually let me go and I go into the stall and reach the toilet paper and there was nothing there. We have them in like a container stuck to the wall and someone stuffed it in so no one could access the paper. What kind of animal? I was shaking this thing like a maniac and just decided to do something so stupid. Basically, to go to the toilet, we need a toilet pass and we have planners that we use to sign the passes. So I had to rip up so many pieces of paper. Out and use it on my heavy flow. Worst thing is it didn't fucking flush. Wait, are you telling me you used the paper from your hall pass as toilet paper? Bestie, I know you're calling this a horror story, but I think this is a triumph of resourcefulness. No one is gonna miss those pieces of paper. You did what you had to do in a really tough situation. I think you should be applauding yourself.